Hello and welcome to Sensei podcast. This is Manos Brilakis discussing with leaders in the field of CTO and complex PCI. Sensei means teacher or master in Japanese. The goal of the Sensei podcast is to help you learn and improve in CTO and complex PCI so that you can become the best that you can be and offer your patients the best possible results. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sensei Podcast. It is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Lucio Padilla from ICBA, Institute Cardiovascular de Buenos Aires, one of the best CTO complex operators in Latin America. Thank you so much, a great friend, great collaborator over many years, and thanks so much for being part of the podcast.
Thank you, Manos. For me, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here. I will try to share with you and all the colleagues all my journey and experience and try to give some things for the others.
Well, we appreciate it. And I know that it's actually in Latin America, it's often hard to do these procedures. There are some limitations as in other countries. And I know you've been a pioneer in getting this moving on. But maybe start from the beginning. How did you get into this area? How did you decide to do the complex cases?
So I've been learning all. I do interventional cardiologies in ICBA for 4 years. After that, I went to Europe, where there was a site that have a lot of acute myocardial infarction procedure in Spain. After I came back and we started doing a lot of cases. My boss and my friend in that case was Jorge Velardi, the owner and the president of interventional cardiology at ICBA. And we have been involved a lot of time with PCR, TCT, doing some cases. And in one of that cases, Jorge said, we are going to do this, but we are not used to do this. It was a multivessel disease with unprotected main CTO. And we have an invited there that was a Japanese, it was Saito, and we have prepared the case very hard, multi-CT, previous that, and Jorge says, you like the complex PCI, so why you are not with Saito in the other cath lab and I'm going to do the other case? Okay, so I started doing the case with Saito. Saito was very shy in that moment, and I was thinking, what you're going to do, and he didn't explain as me as a second operator, and that was something that shocked me because I want to know every time what I can help to the first operator and to have to plan all the case. So it was a very hard, and in one moment I just told me, don't touch my wire. So I said, what? I don't know, I'm going to do my best, and I'm still there working, and the case was successful. So after that, I said, this is crazy. We have done a hybrid approach. I didn't do it in that time. So I said, are you doing this in ICBA? We try to do all the best, complex, structure, non structure, peripheral, but CTO, we didn't start doing that in that moment. So my first question was, are we doing CTO cases or not? So I went to my database of our electronic clinical, and I say, how many CTO we have done till now? So there were 30 cases per year. The second question was, what type of CTO we have been doing? And there was JCTO 0 to 70%, easy one. And then how we have been approaching that. Arterial escalation, over the wire balloon, 35%, microcatheter only 30%, no dedicated wires, only dedicated wires in 50%, Miracle 6, 12, and cross it. So what was our success in 5 or 6 years that I was assessing that? 67%. So my result was, we are a disaster. So the next question was, Jorge and my partner Fernando, are we going to be better than this, or we want to stay like this? So if we want to do something, we have to rebuild. And that's another period from 2014 till now. We have changed the things.
So it was a clinical need, and then you have some people come to your cath lab and help you start and build it. And since then, you've been able to develop it and more. But how easy was it? Because these are different techniques, and there are different equipment involved, and it's different from what we typically do. So how difficult or easy was it for you to build up that program?
Yes, the first question was why we are doing very low number of cases, because we used to do 1,600 cases PCI per year. So in that moment, why? And half of the patient went to cabbage, and half of the patient of CTO went to medical treatment. So we used to do very low number. Second, we want to build or rebuild a program. Yes. Do we have the support of the institution to do this? This is a journey. This is a long journey, hard journey, that you have only the ticket to go and not to back. Okay, yes, we have. Well, okay, we're going to start. So I built a program for one mainstay. One was management, institutional management. Mm-hmm. The other was education. The other was technology and patient selection, hard team. So I can start from each other, from our parts of education. I ask, to be humble. I have to leave my ego and my pride in the side. I have to learn, first of all, how. I have to increase the number more or less from 50 and over that per year. So I start reading, looking videos, going to the meetings, inviting proctors. And from that, I said, but no, this is not a self procedure. This is not a procedure that I can do alone. I have to have a work team. So I thought in that time I need the technician, the nurse, and a second operator to be with me. So what I did in that moment was to talk with them. Do you want to go with me in this journey? Okay, yes, we are going to do. So we try doing the cases. We have to have more cases to do. We have to learn every day, every week, every month, and to do every week, every month, more cases and more cases. And what I don't know to do, I have to ask for help. I have to ask for an advice. I have to have a guidance for a proctor, and then to learn from my success and from my failures.
Sure. So, and then you got people over, they help you learn, and then slowly the program evolved. How easy was it with equipment, microcatheters, different balloons, reentry, wires? How easy was that? I know it's a difficult thing.
In that moment, all the brands didn't go to have dedicated material of CDO in Argentina and in the region. So what I asked for help to Terumo or Boston, Abbott, etc. And they start, Asahi, they start giving me the different tool for CTO. So I start having a support from them with material, with equipment, and it was very nice because I feel that help that I asked, it was really good, and I start having my different rebuilding program in ICBA. For example, I separate, for example, technician. What about the radiation? Mm-hmm. Nurse. What about the ACT, and what about the CTO card? Do we have? No. So we have to have that. So I start having all the things on the material, microcatheter, the wired CTO dedicated, pericardial synthesis, the snares, the stent graft, and all that things in a card. I was reading a paper of Dimitri that he says I can reduce 30 minutes if I have a CTO card with me. So that's keeping my mind, and so I try to learn and to teach as a work team. So when I have a CTO nowadays, I can tell you what is the approach that I do, because it's not only Lucio and the second operator. It's Lucio, second operator, the technician, the nurse, and for me, the CTO PCI is not a CTO as other. It's I call a waste PCI. Why waste? Because I have to recalculate every time. I have to split from this plan to the other plan.
Wonderful. So how difficult was it convincing the other people? Because there's always some culture involved with building a program. And, if it's not done commonly, people may have resistance, then complications can happen, and they may make people more hesitant. So how were you able to work with them and convince them that this is a valuable program for the patients and for the institution as well?
Yes. First of all, we have to be honest with us, and we said we don't know how to do in the best way as we have been doing CTO PCI. So we have to learn it. So I keep going to learn this, going to meetings, all the things, video, proctors a lot, and afterwards we select very, very well the patient. So we have to know that the patient with deep ambulatory procedure or program 1 have to know the risk and the benefits, and with that, we have to improve the quality of life, the symptoms, and all the cardiology after understand that not only with pills the patient will be better, that we can improve with this. So we start year by year. So from when we start building the program, the first year were 45, the second 55, the third 127 cases a year, and then we start doing more and more cases every year. So very nice.
So congratulations again, phenomenal progress. But also, not only you were doing the cases, but you were also building, LATAM, the registry, so actually keeping track of those outcomes. How did that develop, and how useful have you found it to be?
The thing managed is very nice, because when I start doing the rebuilding in my cath lab in my institution, I ask me, what about the region? Because what are you doing in LATAM? We are more of 900 million people here, and what about CTO? So I need to do a research. I did a survey, and I do a survey with all the people by Twitter, and saying who is a CTO operator, who is doing CTO cases. So 57 operators answer me from the 12 countries, and they say, I'm doing CTO. Okay, can you answer me some questions? So, for example, I say, which is the indication when you have a CTO case, do you do PCI or no? As me, 70% went to surgery or medical treatment. Only 30% were PCI. How many operators do you have in your country? There were very few. Do you have a program CTO? All the country, 50%. Do you have do you have dedicated materials? 50%. Microcatheters. Why dedicated? Nothing of ADR or retro approach, all anterior wire escalation. So all the region was like me. So I told them, do you want to increase and to be better with this? So we have to have data. Alex, can you do the registry? Go ahead from Brazil. So last month we have 3,600 patients included, and we have a lot of more than that. But why we can't put all the cases? Because we need data entry. That's our problem. We need resources. We need people who to be working with us, because, for example, in my situation, I'm a lot of things. When I started my interventional cardiology, I was doing peripheral, carotid, valves, complex PCI, all the things. Then, in one moment, we decide in our group, we are 6 interventional cardiology. Do we want to do all, or do we want to be more expert in any field? No, we want that. So we separate in the last 10 years the different fields, and we try to be more expert in any field. So that's what we are doing in our
And that has helped with the process and the success and everything else involved.
After the building of our program, for example, we have to educate not only to the second operator, we have to educate to the technician about radiation, we have to educate to a nurse about all the material. And so after that, for example, we have that the technician, for example, knows, because this is a very stressed PCI if you don't split responsibility. So what I try to do, I say, this is a work PCI, a work team PCI. You technician, you have to do all about radiation. We have the best quality at the beginning, at the end, and then fluoro storage, and reduce the radiation and 7.4 frames. Nothing film, fluoro storage. You have to tell me that. You have to tell me about the different things that I can see in the life. And the nurse, you are in charge of ACT and all type of material. And all with the second operator, we have to see the case before going into the cath lab, because this is something very quick. We have to be open mind. And if I'm the first operator and I'm tired or something, I have to be open mind to ask the second operator, do you have any idea? Or the nurse or the technician. This is a work team PCI. So it's something that I used to, when I begin with this, I said, this is impossible. And then I say, this is a Nike moment. Impossible is nothing, just do it, just learn and try to do it.
Now, how about when things don't go well, when you have a complication or things don't work out? How does it affect you? How do you deal with these situations?
Well, first of all, we have the different plans. Perhaps anterior wide escalation, ADR, retro applause, plane A, B, C. And the most important thing is to know what we want to do, to learn which is a problem, first of all, to know what we want to do and what the things can happen in the future or during the case. So we have to have all the complications in my mind, and if we have that, we have to try to resolve all, and to think that first of all is the patient. Patient is first, and then we have to know and to be very humble to know which are our limitations, Manos. We have to know if I can do this, and this, or only the first two. And if I can't do that, I have to ask for help. That's very important. And when we do this, as much you do, more you learn, and less are the complications. So that's the way we manage at ICBA and in my situation. No?
So you do the cases with more than one person. You do combined cases with other operators, or just call them if there's a problem to come and help you out.
No. This is a very different case. I love to do PCI, complex PCI. I love the CTO, and I think that we need a second operator. 4 eyes and 4 ears are better to see and to hear. So I think a second operator have to be involved, and we have to be faster and to change and to be open mind to change very quick as the plans. That's why the success was better, and we can reduce the time of the procedures.
Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to the actual cases and having the team do its function, so one person on the team does the radiation, as you said, one checks out the contrast, make sure things work in. How about training the fellows? Do you train some of the upcoming fellows or young attendings to learn this? How is that panning in your place?
Yes, there are some fellows that they are training with us, in structure, in complex PCI. They spend with us 3 or 4 years. There are some other colleagues or people who wants to train in CTO. And one of the questions that I asked them is, how many PCI do you do per year? Do you have volume? Can you learn this, but you have to do every week and every month different quantity of cases? If not, you're going to lose the skills. So I can teach you what I have, what I know, but afterwards you have to think if you can continue this journey, because this is hard. And you have to have the support of the institution, your hospital, and the economic issue. So if you have all this, we can go and we can teach and we can learn and continue learning every time. But there are a lot of guys that they think, I'm very good in complex and I want to do it, but this question is very important for me. If they can continue this, we can do a lot of cases every month, every week, and this is for all the people that in this situation they can do that.
Yeah, and absolutely. And again, as you said, there's an expectation that when you start, your case might be a little low, but you have to have a plan how to build them up in your new place as you go. So now, how do you keep yourself in good shape to do all this? Do you do some relaxation, you need exercise? How do you keep yourself, having all these complex cases that you do every day?
First of all, I need to have, I have a gift that I have a very good work team in my institution. So when I go to work, I have the technician, the nurse, everything is good and with good humor, and after I try to go to the cases with all the information and all the plan and all the material just in the CAT lab previews and to see all previews. Obviously that I like to train and I have a personal trainer. I like to walk, to bike, and sometimes to go to golf, to do golf with my friends, but I'm not the best. I try to have a good moment with my friends. Then I love a lot to go to see Boca Juniors, that is my fan in football, with my son every weekend. So these things that are very good for your mind are very good for the stress, and you start the day different. And so that's what I try to do to keep all better.
And then, do you have any book or any movie that you like the most?
Yes, I try to. Related with book, I read a lot, and I like to read more novels. Will Smith and other things. When I have to read more medical books, I love your book. I love the Optimal book, the ebook. So I try to select what I want to read. I love music more. When I have a very complex PCI, I put a lot of music every time. For me, it's a relaxed one. I love Pink Floyd, Gilmour, Rolling Stones, all that type of music, and that's keep me better. Movies, yes. For example, Al Pacino, Godfather is nice, and then Morgan Freeman. I love different people, or so not a favorite, but for example, nothing very good. For me, Tom Cruise is very nice. I love to see Mission Impossible, Impossible Mission, and Top Gun, Maverick, and my friend said that is very bad. I said, for me, it's perfect, fantastic. Or Rocky, for me, Rocky is don't give up. Come on. I love that things, but these are things that I'm simple. I appreciate a lot to be with my friend, to have an asado, to go to see Boca or Argentina team, to be with my family, with my friends. That's all. I don't need any more.
Well, that's plenty. Looks like a lot of things that you have there. How many hours do you sleep every night?
I try to go at 10 to bed. Then I stay 1 hour doing or looking something, nothing, not politic, but some serial or a film. And then at 11, I want to go to sleep, and I wake up at 6:30, and then I'm ready in the cath lab at 8 with the patient there. So
you manage to get some rest, but still
it's very important to rest. But well, you have to rest here, because you can sleep, but you have to rest. It's different. So if you do some exercise, you can rest better. So that's important too.
So when it comes going forward, what are you most excited about for PCI and CTO and complex PCI?
For me, all the complex PCI for me is very nice. I love the adrenaline. I feel that I want to do this for more years. I'm very humble, and I want to learn a lot. So why I'm here, and I have a flight for 12 hours to New York, is because I'm going to spend 2 days here learning because I think that always we can learn about people who is better than you, and I want to continue learning. And in the future, I want to share all the things with the people who is with me, and to teach all the things. And my future years, I want to keep doing educational things, to try to do a platform that I'm sure that I'm going to do it for the region, and that's the future years.
Wonderful. Well, it looks like you have a lot of things planned for ahead. Do you plan to do other areas of intervention apart from complex PCI going forward, now with the development of CAT scan and structural, or these are different people who do these things at your cath lab?
There are another thing that we are proud to do what we are doing. For example, in 2009, 2010, we thought that the patient were inpatients, and they spent one day or 2 days or more, depend of the type of procedure that we did, structure, no structure. So in that moment, we decide to think about the same-day discharge. And from 2009 to 2017, we have been evaluating the safety and efficacy doing patient inpatient and versus same-day discharge patient. So we thought what were the things that were keeping the patient inside the hospital, and was the low ejection fraction, and peritoneal, the TAVI, the aortic stenosis, the multivessel disease. So we start working a lot in all that fields, and nowadays we have the radial launch, the same-day discharge. We have been increasing all that building a program from 2018 till now, with more than 500 patients discharged. And nowadays we have 40% of the patients that we do PCI or prefer OTAVI or CTO, same-day discharge. And if the patient is a diagnostic one, in 2 hours, if it's a PCI, a complex one, in 4 hours. So this is better for the patient, for the experience of the patient, for the experience of the family, for the stress of the patient, for reimburse or reintroduce the patient to his job, to his sport, to his family. For us, it's better to have more beds for acute coronary syndrome, for more cases to do. And another thing is we reduce the cost a lot. So all win, the patient, the hospital. I'm still doing different things, carotid, peripheral, complex.
Okay.
But I'm focused most in complex.
Perfect. And I think we've seen also around the world that actually there's more even for CTOs, there's more same-day discharge. It's still a minority, but it's growing. And I think as time goes by, you probably see more and more of these patients going home the same day.
Mm.
Lucio, what are you most proud of? You've done so many things, both professionally and personally.
Professionally is, as I told you before, when I have something that I love or I would like to do, but I don't know, to be humble, to leave my ego, to leave my pride in a side, and to say, I want to learn from the people who is better from me, and I will try to do it. And for me, no, in my vocabulary is not. So I want to do it. I can do and I can learn different technician in my profession. We can develop different things as the radial large. We can develop not only the complex but structure, the TAVI, the mitral, the peripheral, the carotids during this year. And I'm proud to, or I have a gift that I'm still wanting to learn and to learn from other people who is better, and I'm proud that I can teach what I know to the other guys or colleagues that are near me. So I will live, and I can share all the things that I have with them. Personally, I'm very proud of my sons. I have a daughter, 2 daughters, and a son. They are very nice persons, and we have a very nice relation each other. So For me, that is my sons and my wife are something very nice. And I'm proud another thing for my friends. I have a lot of friends, but good friends that perhaps you don't see them for 1 year, and when you see, it's the same as if I saw him yesterday. So friends for me are family. Friends is very nice.
Wonderful. So, Lucio, if you have to give some advice to people who are fellows or early career and they're learning to do this line of work, CTO and complex PCI, what would you advise them to do to get good at it and be able to develop a good practice?
First of all, to learn about what happened to me in my situation. O sea, that is to say, first of all, you have to be humble. You have to leave your pride. You have to be open-minded to learn, to know that the CTO complex PCI is different to the other PCI. That is a very long journey that you have to be working every day, every week, every month. Perhaps you can have a lot of talent, but talent is not only to be good in this. You have to learn a lot of skills, how to trip, and for this you have to need to work as a team. If you want to do this alone, you are lost. And then if you want to go in this journey, you have to know if you have the support of your institution, of your team, of your colleagues, and of your family to be trying to learn and to be with this, because this is a long trip and you're going to be involved with this years if you want to be better every year. If you want to know something and know more than that, you can do it. But if not, you have to do, and you have to be commitment to try to learn from your success and from your failures, because this is not something very nice every day. You're going to have good days and bad days. And if you have a bad day, you have to share this with your partner, with your colleague, with your friend, with your family, and to try to learn about your failures in order to next time don't commit the same mistakes. So I think for me it's very nice. It's something that I know we can help to the patient, to other patients, to the people, to the colleagues. And if you are convinced of that, just do it. If not, you can choose other things.
Perfect. Yeah, as you said, it is a long process. It does take effort. It doesn't happen overnight, and there's always room for getting better. And I think what you've done is look at your own data and try to understand, where there is room for improvement for that and for any other field for that matter that can play a huge role.
Yes, I think that you can do anything if you don't know where you are now. So you have to have your data. If you don't have your data, I know what I was previous to the program CTO and after the program. So the success improved a lot because we changed this, and this. You can't talk in the community if you don't have your data. For me, I don't know. It is something that you have to research. You have to do. You have to learn. You have to do meetings, but you have to know your results, what you are doing, what you can do, what you can't do, and what you have to learn because or ask for help, because this is something that we have to be learning every time. So you have to be humble in this.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, if you're going to go somewhere in the map, you have to know where you're starting. Otherwise, you don't know which direction to go. So that applies to CTO, applies to everything else.
Sure.
But again, Lucio, congratulations. You built one of the premier programs in Latin America and in Argentina, and I think educated many people and helping spread the word. And thanks for all your hard work on this. It's been great working with you, and look forward to continue to do so down the line.
Sure, Manos. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here. And now I'm still wanting to keep on learning and teaching what I have or what I know, and to share this with my colleagues and my family and friends.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again. Thank you for listening to the Sensei podcast.